see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 857 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter free. I'm Brian, your host, and today is October 6th, 2025. This morning I'm enjoying a fresh cup of a experimental blend from foodforestfarms.com. Right now it's a light Colombian with a medium dark Peruvian. Nice blend there. I started drinking it last week. First cup was for the show, and yeah, I've been rolling with it all week, and it's been good. I check that out at foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10. That's LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for even more awesome perks. Today, we've got another packed show with a huge cabin progress. We'll talk about what Corey and I got done this week, a new Bitcoin all-time high, a little Etsy success for K&B Kustom Built, and let's check in on the conference season and a little bit more, maybe a little bit of help from the live audience, and we'll chat about some stuff. It's been a busy week, and I didn't spend very much time at all on a computer, so we'll see how things go today. Not a whole lot of show prep, so it's gonna be a interesting show. So grab your coffee, smash that like button, and let's get started. Good morning, Seattle, in really early at long before the show started. Hey, hi all. It's gonna be a great day. Good morning to you, Brian. Welcome home. Glad you're out of the hospital and back home, and on the road to recovery. It's been a wild ride for you, and it's only going to get better. Good morning, Rewilder Life. How we doing? And Mike's Homestead swinging in. Thanks for stopping by this morning. Get a sip of this coffee, man. It is good, and I need it today. It's been it's a rough morning. Yesterday, actually 4 days in a row. Corey and I have just been banging it out and out at the cabin, and it is definitely. I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age and my out of shapeness. So it feels good to do some physical activity. It feels good to be back on the road to being healthy, and yeah, I think this is it's a good thing for us for sure. Building this cabin, getting out in the woods, and getting back to living the way we should. So anyway, let's get to it with the cabin. I think last Monday, in-laws had just left. Corey and I had I think just started getting a few joists hung. While the in-laws were here, we got that main center beam in and installed. Oh, actually, Corey and I had to move all the yeah, that's right. we had just fixed our small mistake with one of the brackets on the main beam, but got everything leveled out, and then Corey had to go back to work for a couple days, Monday, Tuesday, I think half of Wednesday. So she was off again the second half of the week. Second half of Wednesday, Corey and I, we went grocery shopping, got all the running done in town, so we were going to be free all weekend to just focus on making progress out at the property. And so Thursday we got out there, we started hanging joists. We had, let's see, I think we have 52 joists to hang, so 26 on each side of the beam. We ran that beam down the middle so we could do 12-foot joists on either side, 2x12 joists. And so that's a lot of haul and lumber and a lot of cutting. They weren't all exactly 12 foot, and the boards weren't all 12 foot. So cut everyone, had compound miter saw out there running generator, and it worked good. It went pretty smooth. We got in a rhythm and knocked those out, got those done in about a day and a half, and then moved on to blocking in between the joists. got that all knocked out, and Rewilder Life says adds up with joist hangers and nails. We went with structural screws, actually. We're gonna do nails. I was looking at nails. I was looking at structural screws, Simpson strong tie, and I went with Simpson brand on everything to go right to spec with the hangers I'm using. So that was all across the board. The post base brackets, the beam support brackets, all the hangers we put in. I went with all their spec'd out structural screws. So haven't been banging too many nails. We did use nails on the blocking, and thankfully Tim, Toolman Tim, had left his DeWalt battery operated framing nailer down here, and I was able to use that for the blocking. So that was convenient. That's a heavier tool. It is kind of awkward and bulky and heavy, but hell of a lot better than trying to swing a hammer in those 16-inch gaps in between the joists when blocking them up. So not a professional at doing this by any means, and things are a little wonky, I would say. I don't think they're too far out of whack, and I think everything's going to come together as we get the floor on. But we got all that done. We got the joists and the blocking and everything together. And then yesterday we went out, finished up on Saturday with that, and then kind of made a plan. We've run into a point where we're going to be installing subfloor. We didn't go with the Advanatech stuff from like Home Depot and Lowe's. That is pretty really let's see. It's weather resistant, more weather resistant than what we got. We ended up getting 3/4 tongue and groove subfloor from the building material place that we got our building material, and that's what they use. They fabricate like the small storage sheds you see on the side of the road for sale all over the place. They fab those, so they have the flooring that they use for the sheds in stock. That's what we got. It's not the most weather resistant stuff, and so we're going to be putting the subfloor on, but we have no walls. We have no covering over the walls, and I don't want it to rain on the subfloor. Now there is a roof there, but any sort of wind whatsoever is gonna push that rain in, and then it's gonna sit on that floor. The floor is gonna get wet, start to rot and weather and warp and all sorts of stuff. And then also when we're framing our walls, we're not going to be using pressure treated lumber. It's just going to be straight framing grade lumber, and don't want to get that wet. So Corey and I had to figure out a way to keep everything from getting wet until we get the metal siding on. And unfortunately, we need the floor on, the walls framed out at least, and the windows and doors installed before we put the metal siding on. So a lot of moving parts there, and we're not really sure the timeline on that. We really don't even know yet, because we're having to wait to get things framed out to order the metal, and not sure the turnaround on the metal. Windows and doors, we're actually going tomorrow on Corey's last vacation day for a while. We're going to go and get all those ordered. We got 3 different places we're going to go, and we know what we want. We're just going to go and do some comparison shopping and get those ordered. So not sure the lead time on those. Yeah, and then the logistics of getting the lumber for the framing to the site. So have a little bit to do there to figure it out. Got a visitor here. Dolly is definitely settling in the house. Dolly, if you don't know who Dolly is, it's our adopted cat that we found outside. Anyway, lots of moving parts, and weren't really sure the timeline on when that metal siding is going to go on to weatherproof and at least keep the rain off of all that material. So we went back and forth. We were going to buy tarps. We were going to do all sorts of. There were all sorts of ideas. Well, not a real whole lot of ideas. It's a big thing to kind of try to weatherproof, and got an idea and don't know if it's going to work. Got working on it yesterday, but we decided that we were going to buy some house wrap, just the stuff you usually put up on a house after you put the wall sheathing on, before you put barrier. And just for the short term, we were hoping to put that up and cover the opening all the way around the sides. They sell at Lowe's. They sell a 9-foot roll, so a 9-foot length, or not 9-foot width, and the roll comes at 150 feet. On the non-peaked sides of the cabin, the space we were going to need to cover was about 8.5. No, it was close to 9. I think we had a couple inch overhang on either side on the top and the bottom to nail it on. So that was kind of perfect. We ran to Lowe's. We picked that up. We picked up some extra to cover the peaks. And so yesterday, that was our goal. First off, we got there in the morning. We moved all the subflooring inside onto the floor on top of the joist and kind of staged it out in appropriate areas where we'll be able to access it as we install the floor. It won't be in the way. We won't have to double move it or anything, but kind of stage that out. And then we got to putting house wrap up. And holy crap, that was a job for sure. I'll tell you. Corey nailed it yesterday, basically holding that roll of house wrap for, I don't know, 6 hours, 5 hours, 6, 7 hours. I don't know how long it took, but we did one continuous piece all the way around the outside on all 4 sides. It's approximately 120 feet of wall, and so we had a little bit left over, but did a little overlap. We're gonna have kind of a overlap door that we can open up like a circus tent and go in there and work, and then seal it back up. It was hot. It was in the sun. It was up and down the ladder. It was nailing the stuff in. I don't know if you've ever nailed up house wrap, but you use these little tiny. They're almost like roofing nails, and they have a plastic washer on them. I guess it helps hold it down and not tear. But with my big fat fingers, trying to hold them and get them started is a lot of finger smashing. So I was using a pair of pliers and holding them and getting them started, and then banging them in and up on the top of the ladder about 14, 15 feet up in the air in awkward positions, trying to nail in every direction. It was a job. We're hoping that it holds until we get the metal siding on, and we're hoping that it works as it should. When we got that one single piece all the way around, we were both exhausted. I was sore. I was definitely showing my age on day four of work in a row, and up and down. Yeah, the up and down the ladder was the tough part. I did take a spill off a step ladder, up a shorter ladder that we have. I got up onto that, and some of the soil that it was sitting on kind of gave way, and it started to tip, and took a little tumble off that. So that was a little impeding to the rest of the day. But we got that one single piece around, and then decided to call it for the day and go back and regroup today and get those peaks covered. So Corey's got a couple more days off this week. And so we're going to be able to, like I said earlier, get to the building supply stores on Tuesday and get doors and windows ordered. And today our goal is to go out and get those peaks covered on the peaked ends of the building, and hopefully get that house wrap up there it's going to be an interesting. I think it's going to be a lot harder than getting the other part up, and the other part wasn't that easy to deal with. So there aren't a lot of really good places to get the ladder, to put the ladder, to stay out of the way. I think you're really going to have to think through the motions of how this is going to get installed to make it happen. But we'll try to get it done. And then and once that's up, then with all that subfloor over on the floor, I can work a lot more by myself. A lot of the heavy lifting is done. The 2x12s, we're pretty much done with the 2x12s, other than cutting out some stringers for some temporary stairs. And the subfloor all moved. That slides really easy on top of the joist, so moving that around isn't horrible anymore. And then 2x6s for framing out the walls are easily manageable. So got all that really heavy lifting, framing the floor and stuff done with my help, and I appreciate it. Corey's been invaluable the last couple of weeks, really, working on the cabin, and then with her family in town helping with that beam. So all that heavy work is done, and now it's on to just knocking stuff out and planning, and so that's good. We're on pace. We're happy with the progress. Always could be doing more and further along, but I think right now we've definitely put the time in and put the effort in when we've had the opportunity. So we'll keep going at it. Yeah, I think before the next show, we'll have hopefully our doors and windows ordered and be putting in subfloor. I think that's the plan next weekend. Saturday and Sunday, like I said, Corey's going to be back to working and a little less vacation for a couple weeks here at least, and so we'll be weekends only, and then anytime I can get out there by myself. And it's we've gone back and forth about heading out in the evenings after she gets out of work, and man, it's one of those, it's really juice squeeze type of situation. We are about a half an hour away from the site where we're staying right now. When Corey gets off of work, we do have a lot of stuff to do here in the evening, as far as taking care of the dogs and mealtime and all of that. And so by the time we get out to the property, drive out there and unpack all the tools and get everything out and get ready and get started, and then that half-hour drive back and getting to bed at a reasonable time, because we do get up early. It's almost like, do we have enough time to make it worth it to be out there to make any progress? So I think as we can stay out later and have light inside, I think that'll be more of an option. But right now it's starting to get dark at like 6:30, and pretty dark by 7 o'clock. So it's really limited on the time we have in the evening. So not a whole lot of progress there, but I do get a couple days a week where I am free to go out and work during the day. And I think she has some vacation days coming up here later in October and into November, and a good long stretch at Thanksgiving. So target is still first of the year to be moved out there. It won't be finished by any means, but it will probably hopefully be livable by first of the year, and we can make that transition. And then as we get out there and we're staying full time, we can definitely make a ton of progress, because we'll actually be there. And to take that hour away in the evening where the transport and then the tool project cleanup. Good morning, Corback. Thanks for stopping in. The tools, getting them out, packing them away. It's a lot of extra work when you're still in the middle of a project. So we'll see. Happy with the way it's going. Excited. It was cool to see yesterday. I posted a couple pictures over in the Telegram group. It was cool to get that wrap on and poke your head inside, and it's all enclosed now. And to stand up on the floor. So we threw that subfloor out on the joists, and then we jumped up there and we were standing on the floor, and it's really it was really cool to be standing on the floor. It was awkward though. After working on the ground for so long and being around the total height of the roof, and then to put the subfloor on, or the joist on at I think we're about 4 feet off the ground at the top of the joist. To jump up on top of there and stand, it was about 4 feet in the air. It was a different perspective for sure. And everything was open, and the joists were still open in a lot of places, so you could see right down to the ground, and there's no walls. And it was like, this is kind of cool. I thought it was kind of cool. I kind of stood up there for a minute and enjoyed the progress that we've made and the things that we've gotten done. So happy with that, and a lot more to go soon. So stick around and follow along with that. Yeah, exciting stuff. Progress and moving forward. Rewilder Life says they're doing all their building by hand. They don't make the things for small women to use. And she's pretty good at swinging a hammer, but I get it. I get it for sure. I swung the hammer all day yesterday on those little nails that hold up the weather wrap, and forearm was a little twingy by the end of the day, and it wasn't bad. By the way, I was going to John Palmer says over in Telegram chats, he said he thought I was going to do vertical today. I thought I was going to do vertical today too. I was just gonna mention that. So YouTube's been telling me, do vertical live stream, blah blah blah, over and over and over. And it is what it is. A long time ago, I messed around with StreamYard and doing 2 different feeds, and it's really awkward here with the camera. My setup in the camper, I only have about, I think it's like 18 inches of a desk. So with the camera like right there, you can tell when you watch the video that it's pretty zoomed in, and I can't get it back any further. And I'm excited to have an actual desk and be able to set things up and have different camera angles. But when I loaded up the vertical stream, so basically in StreamYard, I was creating 2 different streams, and when I pulled up the vertical stream, it was basically this picture, but super zoomed in. You couldn't even see my whole face, and then it wasn't even vertical. It was the whole border and everything, the whole border and everything that's on the screen right now, but in vertical. So it was shrunk and then super zoomed in on my face, and I was like, yeah, not today. This is close enough for you guys with this camera view. You didn't need super close. So vertical feed is on hold again for now. So we it is what it is. Rewilder Life says, you guys have floor plans in mind. Yeah, our floor plan is all done. Tentatively, I want pretty tentative, like pretty solid. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna get that subfloor down, and then we're gonna go in and mark it all out and make sure it's all functional. It's on paper right now, graph paper, 2 scale. Corey's done a lot of work with that. Do you want to come and say hi? Come here. You want to say hi? So this is my friend here. If you're watching the video, she's sneaking around in my room trying to find some place to get into trouble for sure. She's a little rascal, a little terrorist for sure. Not my best friend. She isn't. She is definitely kinder to Corey and likes to snuggle with Corey more. But we're starting to get along. You want to say hi? Say hi. Yeah. And she is definitely in charge of the dogs. She plays with Clyde. Norman pretty much ignores her, and she kind of leaves him alone. But Clyde and her are buddies now, and definitely play all the time and get into stuff. And she's starting to stay out at night. She stays out during the day all the time now, and she only goes in her enclosure sometimes at night. Corey's trying to start to let her stay out at night, but in the middle of the night when she starts causing trouble and wants to play with the dogs and all that at 3 a.m, Corey's throwing her in her enclosure and leaving her in there for the rest of the night. But other than that, she's pretty integrated, and she's definitely in charge. She also has her claws and likes to climb around. So, how you doing? Anyway, let's. The floor plan. Floor plan before the kitty distracted me. So we're gonna lay that out. We're gonna lay it out on the floor. That's kind of we're on hold a little bit with the windows and things like that until we get an actual floor on there. We're gonna chalk it out or draw it out or lay down 2x4s for walls or whatever around everything that we have planned, and make sure it's functional, make sure it kind of flows, nothing is in the way, doors don't hit each other, all that kind of silly stuff, and that it's exactly what we want before we start framing it out. But Corey took a lot of time planning it and thinking it through, where we're placing everything and kind of the size of what we find important, what we want big, and what can be smaller. And like I said in the Telegram chat yesterday, neither of us need a whole lot of amenities. I mean, we've lived in the RV now for, off and on for at least 4 years, starting in the driveway at the farm, and then on the road and traveling, and then stationary. And we just don't need a ton. We just want some space. Our biggest things are a little more room. One of my biggest things is a little more headroom. To be able to put my hands over my head and stretch would be fantastic. And at 6'4", that doesn't happen in a camper. I can basically put my arms up and my elbows will hit the ceiling. So being able to stretch like that, being able to get on the floor and lay down on the floor, maybe do some stretches on the floor would be nice. There just isn't enough room here in the camper to do that. So that's something we're looking forward to. Hopefully not shaking when anybody moves, when a dog walks through or things like that, not feeling like an earthquake would be fantastic. That's what I'm looking forward to. Maybe some insulation in the walls. That's one other thing. So to have a little bit more temperature control would be fantastic. But beyond that, really don't need a whole lot to be happy. Moving to the farm and then into the RV and kind of downsizing and going towards a minimalist style life, you really find out what's necessary and what makes you happy. And I think just one being with my wife is fantastic, and that's pretty much what I need. Can get through anything with her around, but the essentials that you need and priorities kind of change as you experience that. Sorry guys, alarm going off. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be exciting to get the floor down. I've done a little bit of laying subfloor, not a whole ton, and but man, every stage of this project is getting researched, and YouTube videos, and tips and tricks, and reading blogs, and one step at a time, figuring it out, and then making it happen. So we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Let's move on here. Yesterday, so I mentioned in the opening that barely have been on a computer the last, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, off and on. I think last week I sat down, I did the show, I did all the show processing after, basically the uploading and thumbnails and all of that, and I didn't use my computer after that. And I don't think I sat down at it the rest of the week. I had my phone. I haven't really been following anything uh, other than playing a game here and there. I've been tired. Like working on all this stuff really tires you out. So I haven't been doing a whole lot of following anything online. I did notice that the government is shut down. Here it is the 6th of October. I heard the day that it happened. So on October 1st, I heard that the government shut down, which is fantastic in my opinion. If they're not working, they're not doing anything stupid, spending money or causing issues or being government. Heard that it shut down, and I was like, oh, good. Didn't look into it. Didn't really care. I actually had to look up this morning if the government was still shut down, and from what I can tell, as of October 6th, it is still shut down. So perfect. Obviously, it has affected my life a whole lot, and I don't know about you, but I'm guessing it hasn't really affected your life a whole lot unless you are a government employee that's non-essential and has been on furlough or not getting paid or whatever the fact is. But man, I'm all for a government shutdown. Hopefully, it lasts as long as possible. Another thing that I missed yesterday because no service out at the cabin build site, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. That is exciting. Mr. Norton said in the Telegram group the other day, I hope he bought it on the dip, because if he didn't, I'm sorry. I do have to feel his sentiment on that. I do feel that I think we're on a bit of a run here over the last week. I kind of watched the price go up. Right now, you can see on the block ticker, 123, 196, $123,196,000 per Bitcoin. That is up over the last few days. Yesterday peaked up, jumped up, hit an all-time high of 125,559.21. I wasn't really sure if that was an all-time high. I actually honestly wasn't sure what the previous all-time high was. But a couple of quick searches, and that said we topped one yesterday. That's exciting. That's exciting, and only good things to come, I think, for Bitcoin. The more turmoil in the U.S. government, the more bullshit going on, and the fact that they can't get their shit together just makes more of a case for being in Bitcoin instead of the U.S. dollar. Also on a tear right now is silver. Silver is popping up almost to $50 an ounce, which is super cool. I like to see those assets jumping up there. If you remember back in the day, I've actually done 2 rounds of custom silver coins and stacked a little silver here and there. So if you got some silver and you don't really pay attention to the price, I think you'd be surprised when you popped up a price index and checked it out. But silver up about 50, and Bitcoin on a tear. I think between now and the end of the year, we could see some big things for Bitcoin. So, are you comfortable with with the value of your stack in a software wallet? We talked a few weeks ago about that little hack. It wasn't a hack of Bitcoin; it was a hack of the protocol used by wallets to function with Bitcoin. To this day, as far as I know, Bitcoin itself has never been hacked. It's been more wallets and exchanges and personal on an individual basis because standard protocols weren't followed, safety protocols and things like that. One standard protocol that I suggest is using a hardware wallet. The one that I use and have used, I started out with the Blockstream Jade and have upgraded to the Jade Plus. I love it. It pairs really well with the Blockstream app, and it works smoothly. It was not affected by the JavaScript breach and all of that. It doesn't use those. Resources. So nothing to worry about with that whole deal. The Blockstream Jade and the Jade Plus you can pick up at store.blockstream.com. And if you use code the Lots Project, you'll get 10% off, and I'll earn a small commission on that. I recommend it. I think the security of having that device that you have to verify transactions, that no one's going to be able to send, even if they access your wallet, find your phone, they open your phone, you got the Blockstream app there, they know what that is, they open it up and they're like, holy crap, look at this. I'm rich. I can send this to myself. I can send it to an address of my choice, send it around, make it disappear, no problem. They go to send that transaction and it needs to be verified by the physical hardware device right here. You gotta acknowledge that's happening. It's like the two-factor authentication for your phone. Man, it could save your ass. It could save your ass for sure. There's a lot of creepy people. There's a lot of shady people out there doing a lot of shady things with SIM card cloning and all the stuff on phones that kind of can get into your software wallet. And if you've used Bitcoin enough, you know that software wallets are the easy button. Basically, I want to send it. Do you sure you want to send it? Yep, I'm sure I want to send it, and it's done. There's no safety checks. There's no security really, other than a password, and a lot of the times that's even on auto store. So you open your phone and there it is, and you can have access to all your Bitcoin. So throw it on a Blockstream Jade. Use the Jade hardware wallet to secure your private keys and have to verify all your transactions. And I think you'll be happy if something goes sideways and you lose your phone or somebody gains access to that wallet. Whew. Man, that stuff's good. So a long time ago, I'll tell you, I have a history with these blends. Brian Norton over at Food Forest Farms has worked with me a lot. Oh man, since before we even left in the camper. I joined the C4 Club through his coffee company, Food Forest Farms. He has a C4 Club, which is basically a monthly coffee deal where you order a minimum of 2 pounds a month. You get a fantastic price, especially with the price of coffee right now. If you look around, coffee prices are going up. And portion amounts are going down. So good luck finding a whole pound bag. I shouldn't say good luck, but look closely where you buy your coffee. If you buy any sort of not Folgers or not Maxwell House, look when you're shopping for your coffee and look at the weight. Shrinkflation has definitely hit the coffee aisle for sure. You see 10-ounce bags, you see 12-ounce bags, and the prices look like what they should for a pound. Brian over at Food Forest Farms has the best price I really have seen on premium air roasted coffee. It for what you're getting at the price you're getting. Even the regular price on the website is fantastic, but when you join the C4 Club, the price is even better. You just have to guarantee. You just have to promise to buy 2 pounds a month at a minimum. You can order as much as you want after that at that same price. And there are a ton of other perks to the C4 Club. You can find out more information about that over at foodforestfarms.com. But when I joined the club, we got talking about coffee, and I had a long history even before I met Brian with decent coffee. Worked at Caribou Coffee when I moved to Minnesota about 25 years ago. And took all their coffee education classes. So they offered their employees a ton of classes on roasting and beans and bean selection and all sorts of stuff. And so I had a base knowledge, and with a bartending background, and now equipped with the coffee background, messing around with flavors in my head and kind of guessing and seeing what I can come up with as far as mixes and blends and things like that has always interested me. So when I had a personal coffee roaster to make stuff up like that, it was kind of fun, and started making stuff. Made a few blends. We made the GSD blend way back, which is it's a super light blend, and basically about the highest caffeine content you're going to get without adding extra. So basically your monster drink of the coffee world, but with none of the bullshit and extra added chemicals. And along the way, the silver sales I talked about when I mentioned the silver price, we had a coffee that went along with that, and it used a super dark, rich Monsoon Malabar, I believe. And then we balanced it off with a light roast. I particularly am a light roast guy. I like the lighter end of things. I like the lighter end coffees, and a light, medium at the most, really roast. It's just my flavor profile that I like. But I also don't mind something really dark, something that sits on your that really lends itself to a dark roast mixed in with that light. So that silver bullet blend was fantastic. That Monsoon Malabar got roasted dark, and it was super oily and rich, and then balanced that with a Colombian, I believe, a light Colombian. And it worked great. It was the best of both worlds in a glass or in a cup. And so recently, Brian ended up bringing in a new bean into his roastery, and it's a Brazilian. It's pretty good. It really, he sent it out the first month he had it, and I think I had it at a medium, maybe a medium light. And I love light roast, but I can admit when a bean is roasted better dark, and I really think the flavor of that Brazilian comes out as the darker it gets, the longer it's roasted. It's just not my flavor profile. So I asked Brian to mix me up another blend, and a little signals got crossed. I think on roasting day he was busy, he was in his groove. And he ended up roasting a blend of Colombian and Peruvian, a medium light Peruvian and a light Colombian. And it turned out well. I'm still excited to try at some point the dark Brazilian with the light Colombian. But this Peruvian Colombian blend is fantastic. And that's something you get to do with the C4 Club. You get to message Brian, send him an email, send him a Telegram message, a text message, make a phone call, and try something new and order it right from the roaster. He'll have it roasted a couple days before he sends it out with C4, and it shows up at your door, and it is as fresh as you're going to get. And like I said, the price is right for sure. So think about it. If you like coffee, I don't know. I don't think I can go back to a Folgers or a Maxwell House at this point. I'll actually go to a restaurant and skip the coffee, because I've ordered it a couple times, and it's hard to drink. It's hard to drink. So I could tell you all the benefits of air roasted coffee over drum roasted, and but it is what it is. It is what it is. Give it a try. Foodforestfarms.com. Next on the list, we've been doing some sales here on Etsy for K&B. Good Morning Seattle says they tortured me with the hospital coffee for 21 fucking days. That's the one I really liked about being home. I got my coffee in the morning now. I don't know if I could do coffee. I would probably end up having to quit drinking coffee if I had to do 21 days of hospital coffee. So I think that's even worse than McDonald's. So I'm guessing they don't have the highest end coffee in the hospital. So I'm glad you made it through. Glad you're back at home with that premium stuff, man. So K&B Kustom Built, if you recall, Corey and I started messing around with some woodworking. We were trying to make it happen at the RV. It was difficult, to say the least. We did have some sales. We sold a few kid-sized picnic tables. We built our own full-size picnic table and benches. And we started making little crafty projects and things like that and got them listed up on Etsy. We came to the conclusion that without a dedicated space to have as say like a workshop, I guess wood shop or whatever, basically someplace to have tools and projects that are in process and things like that. It was difficult, to say the least. With the random rain here, with just the way everything has going, we didn't close everything down, but we put things on hold until we had a dedicated space to do it, where we can leave some stuff out. We can have the tools available. We can have materials there. We don't have to worry about the weather, and so that was kind of the goal. But we did leave certain listings up on Etsy. We had started an Etsy shop and didn't see a whole lot of success on it. And I tried to remember back when I started the Comfrey, started the Etsy shop for Comfrey. And when we were on the farm, we did rabbit foot keychains. We did Comfrey salve. We did all sorts of stuff on Etsy. But I was trying to remember back when we started that and how long. And I remember how long it took for the first sale. And then the second sale kind of came a little sooner. And just the way their logarithm works, the more sales you have, the more reviews you get, the more people get shown, the more, and it's a numbers game when it comes to stuff that multiple people are selling. Like I'm not the only one selling the products that we have on Etsy. They were all stuff that kind of got ideas, and other people are doing the same thing. So you have competition there. But we left up some hand painted shelf decor things, I guess, seasonal. I think right now we have some Christmas stuff and some Halloween stuff. We haven't sold any of the finished products. Haven't even got a whole lot of looks on them. The things that we've actually had success on were the craft project components, basically wooden triangles. I mean, as silly as it seems, simple wooden triangles, little wooden triangles. Basically, we do two different sizes listed. A small, like 3.5 by, I think, what is going on here? Something's going on with my computer. Interesting. If everything shuts down in a minute, I apologize. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, short little stocky 3.5 by 3.5 triangles, 3.5 wide at the base, 3.5 high, and then a similar one but a little taller and narrower triangle. Basically cut out of 2x4s or 2x6s, scrap lumber mostly, and then sanded smooth and made nice and shipped out. I started getting a couple of orders. I got a couple orders for those. And then a repeat order. We're selling bunches of them. People are using them for projects to make the things that we finished, little Christmas trees and candy corn, things like that. But they wanted the material. They wanted the components to make it. And so as I was selling them, I was like, okay, well, I'll just do a bunch of these. I'll have the tools out. I cut up a bunch of them. I'll sand them up. And it's worked. So we've had currently, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but we've had, I think, 6 sales over there, which isn't I mean, for not pushing it, for just putting it up there and letting it sit hasn't been bad. But recently I had a custom order, which is interesting through Etsy. Basically, they give the option to allow custom orders. Basically, a customer can contact you. They send you a message. You talk about what they want, and then you can make a custom listing for them that goes directly to them, and they can purchase it. I had somebody that wanted something that wasn't in our shop, but it was basically one of those triangle blanks. They wanted it very, very tall and narrow. I think it ended up being like 10.5 inches tall and 3.5 or 4 inches wide at the base. And it went smooth. I really like that. And I was like, I can do this. I could do these little custom projects. And so yesterday when I got home from the cabin, my email had blown up with messages from another person looking for a custom order. And this one is not one that I will be taking on, but they wanted a wooden pyramid. I think it was a wooden pyramid, uh, basically 15-inch square at the base, and big enough and tall enough that they can take the cap off it. They wanted a removable peak on the pyramid so that they could stick a crystal skull on the top. And if you know the story, I happen to know it for some reason, but there's a big pyramid building in Memphis, and this woman lives in Memphis, and she was actually willing to drive out here to pick this up. It's just something I don't have time or patience or material for to do right now. But basically, there's a pyramid building in Memphis. If you drive through Memphis right now, it's the Bass Pro Shop. It's been some other things in the past, but there's a story about the I think it was the builder or the architect, his kid, and this crystal skull that got put in the top of the building, and some woo-woo, bad juju, good juju stuff going on with that. The building, I suppose, is cursed, and it so it's a pretty popular story in Memphis. Well, this lady wanted this pyramid to go on top of her mailbox, and she has a crystal skull that she was going to put in the top. And I was like, what an interesting project. I was like, I kind of want to see this, but this just really isn't for me to do. But it's going well. I think once we have a shop and we can push forward a little bit, we might change course a little bit with the products we're going to offer. But I think it's worth having the orders up there. And Chris Dixon says, I sell a finished knife for $2 at the market, or $200. Oh, okay. So he sells finished knives at the farmer's market for $200, and he sells knife kits, so unfinished knives for someone else to finish for $150 at the same market. Yeah, I think components might be the way to go for sure, especially online in a competitive marketplace like that. So if you really think about how much this costs me to make these triangles, I have usually nothing in lumber, in material, because it's leftover, it's stock, it's all those cutoffs that you save because you might need to do something with it. A lot of these have come out of that. So even if I bought the material, you're talking 20 to 30 cents in material for a little triangle. And with if I have the saw out and I'm knocking out a bunch of them, cutting them takes literally under 30 seconds. And in the sanding with the belt sander, it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So looking under 5 minutes and under 50 cents in material costs. And, with all the Etsy fees and stuff like that, I charge $5. It's not a lot. But it's definitely a good definitely a good return there percentage wise. So it all adds up. It all adds up for a little different stuff. So yeah, I got some ideas. Once we have that dedicated space, we just stopped battling. We were looking for something to do, I think, to keep ourselves busy until we could get the cabin project going. But we realized that it was just a struggle with no place to do anything, not even a garage to leave things set up. So in the future, that's something that we're going to work on. Speaking of Etsy and things that sell over there, Etsy listing for Comfrey is active, but we also have comfreyroots.com. Same stock, same shipping, same everything, but it doesn't go through Etsy and don't pay Etsy fees. So if you're looking for Comfrey this fall to get going in your garden, in your food forest, along your house as an ornamental, as something that looks cool. If you've never seen Comfrey, it's got big, broad, bright green leaves, and it shoots up these really cool purple flowers that hang off like little jingle bells off a stem. It gets to be a nice, huge, broadleaf plant that can provide a nice border around house or around trees. And then it has a million uses. I can't even get into it right now. Only got a few minutes left here in the show, but medicinal, it can be supposedly used for medicinal things. It can be used for animal fodder. It can be used to make salves. It can be used as soil supplement, and on and on and on. The uses for Comfrey are absolutely endless. And that's why I kind of got into it in the first place. But you can order your root cuttings to propagate your own, to start your own patch, to even start your own Comfrey business if you'd like. You can go to comfreyroots.com, or if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at the on Telegram or any of the different social medias that I'm on, or a bunch of email addresses out there, mainly info@thelotsproject.com. You can get a hold of me and ask any questions about Comfrey. It ships out every Monday, and so it should get to you during the week, depending on where you are in the country, and then get it in the ground. And you might yet see some this fall, depending on where you're at in the country, or it might just go into the ground, stay dormant, and come back in the spring ready to go. So great time of year to plant Comfrey into the fall, and if you can work your ground in the winter, anytime you can really work your ground, you can propagate Comfrey. So check it out, comfreyroots.com, or over on Etsy. You can search the Lots Project and check it out. Also have my ebook for sale over there on growing money, basically how to a quick hit book on how to start your Comfrey business and how to make it happen. So other than that, I think we're coming up on time here. As like I said, it's kind of a random show today. Haven't been on the whole computer a whole lot, as we've been very busy working on the cabin. So a little bit more back to a normal schedule this week, at least the second half of the week. So things will probably get back to normal next week. If there's anything you ever want to hear on the show, all you got to do is reach out to let me know, or you can head on over to the Telegram group at t.me/lotschat. Join the conversation over there. We got a bunch of great people that contribute on the daily, and we talk about all sorts of different stuff, fun stuff, joking around, serious, get shit done kind of things, and sharing each other's successes and help each other through stuff that needs help. So anyway, check that out over on the Telegram group. Other than that, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up here today. I got some stuff to take care of this morning, and then Corey and I are heading out to get those peaks covered up with the rest of the house wrap, and wrap it up, I guess. So anyway, hope you have an awesome week. Hope you get everything done that you got on your list, and you make it a great day the rest of today. We will see if the government starts working again, or if we get another week reprieve of them doing any of the bullshit and shenanigans that that they usually take part in. Anyway, we will talk to you again next Monday.